Turn on the
Unmute.
mic.
Okay.
Actually, that would be our mic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but we
Turn that
want to
off.
be able to hear it, right?
No,
Doesn't have to
that's
be-
our, no, that's our mic.
Okay.
For them to hear us. We just want.
Tick, 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 tick. Rock and roll. A very good morning, everybody. Welcome. Hello, Congregation B'nai B'rith. You're in the house. You are Congregation B'nai B'rith. And we're here to celebrate this morning. Come on in, sit down. Everybody come on in. What a glorious morning it is to celebrate a dream together. So here we are this morning. We figured that every large-scale building project needs to have a musical anthem associated with it. So we asked the welcoming face of Congregation B'nai B'rith, Phoebe Light, to pen such an anthem for this part of the history of Congregation B'nai B'rith. Phoebe, we've had a chance to sing the song a few times now. It actually has become the anthem of the Building Dreams project. And what do we call this song, Phoebe?
This song is called We Are Building Dreams.
Here it is.
Is that too slow? It's been half a century since we made this place our home. Now in the season of revival, let us honor how we've grown, and let us work together for the future that we need. 'Cause every fruitful harvest is started with the seed. Brick by brick and stone by stone, together we'll renew our home. This is more than concrete boards and wooden beams. We're building dreams. We're changing lives, creating every opportunity for our community to thrive. We're lifting hearts, inspiring minds, paving the way for living Jewishly. We are building dreams. Years from now, a family watches baby grow with pride. From PHY to Netivo, from Bat Mitzvah to Pride, against a scenic backdrop of a shared Shabbat with friends. As Hillel says, if not us, who and if not now, then when? So brick by brick and stone by stone, together we'll renew our home, where the door by door will sing L'Chadodi. We're building dreams. We're changing lives, creating every opportunity for our community to thrive. We're lifting hearts, inspiring minds, paving the way for living Jewishly. We're building dreams. We're changing lives, creating every opportunity for our community to thrive. We're lifting hearts, inspiring minds, paving the way for living Jewishly. We are building dreams. Thank you.
That's Rabbi Daniel Brenner.
Let's
on
build
bass.
some dreams.
Dan Phillips on cajon. Thank you. And now, one of the co-presidents of Congregation B'nai B'rith, Nancy Sheldon.
Yeah, all right, what am I, all right, where are you going? All right, well, that was amazing, and want to welcome everyone and say good morning. I am Nancy Sheldon, one of the co-presidents of Congregation B'nai B'rith, and I have no idea how I got here, but I do not recommend hiking with the rabbi. So, welcome to the groundbreaking celebration for our Building Dreams project. It is truly hard to believe that we are here and about to embark on this journey to a temporary home and then back to our renewed campus. I'm excited, extremely nervous, but definitely impassioned when I consider what is next. As I shared at the annual meeting over 18 months ago, there will be challenges, but with them come great opportunities to learn and grow as a community. We will be asked to worship, learn, and interact in new ways, and to support each other as we move to temporary physical spaces. And we all have so much to be excited about, as the Building Dreams project will allow us to finally enjoy all of our outdoor beautiful spaces, transform the learning experience with the new Center for Jewish Learning, and improve accessibility throughout the entire campus, and create a new leadership hub, which will consolidate our staff and clergy and greatly improve their ability to collaborate with each other and with each of us. In preparation for construction, most of our offices, programs, and services are moving to new location. Staff and clergy offices, adult education classes, and other programs will be relocated to our new Fairview campus, right? Fairview campus, that's what we're calling it, yes? Yeah, okay. And then we will be worshiping on Friday nights and most Saturday mornings at nearby Trinity Church, that's our Trinity campus, at the corner of La Cumbra and Foothill. Pastor Mark and his congregation have graciously allowed us to share their absolutely beautiful and recently renovated sanctuary, and they're even making visual adjustments to ensure we feel comfortable in their space. BHY Preschool will remain at CBB, as well as afternoon youth education programs, which will be on site and next door. You guys can find more of these details in emails, and we will be continually updating you as to where the locations of events and activities and programs are. So it will be an adjustment, it will be an adventure, and please remember to turn on your GPS. So this is where we hope to be one day when we started down this path in 2016. There were 7 boards that worked on Building Dreams, with 23 motions approved, thousands of hours logged, countless committees convened, significant staff hours devoted, way too much input from Mother Nature, and immeasurable time, energy, and enthusiasm provided by so many that have gotten us here. So there are literally hundreds of people that have worked on this project. So how can we thank everyone individually? Well, you're about to find out, so get comfortable over the next hour. Yeah, okay, I am just kidding. But so many of you are here right now, and I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you, everyone. This was and still is a huge group effort with many moving parts, but at great risk of not being able to thank each person individually, I do want to highlight a few. First, those in lay leadership, and could you please stand when I say your name? Our board presidents, who helped shepherd this project to this point, including Diane Zipperstein, Steve Amerikaner, and Judy Coper. Each one of them stay standing. Each one of them have maintained leadership roles on Building Dreams even after their tenures as president ended. Judy, alongside Marty Levy, are our fearless project leaders of Building Dreams. And we like to call them the Dream Team. If they hadn't agreed to be part of this 7 years ago, I really don't think we'd be standing here. And that's not an understatement. And Diane, You not only got us through COVID, but kept this project alive and moving forward during such an uncertain time. And you continue to give your heart and soul as campaign co-chair alongside Steve, who has been intimately involved on a daily basis with this project since its inception. Thank you. Jonathan Gartner, where are you? There you go. He's been our financial spiritual guru since its inception, and the voice of reason as a member of our leadership team. And Craig Zimmerman has focused on relocation, project management, and construction. Jeff Kupperman and Janet Wolf, they've managed the process of finding our temporary home during construction, and could not be more excited to be going on this adventure. And Rick Sanders and Lauren Katz spent several years on the Campus Renewal Committee doing all the early work to get us here. Thank you all, and you may be seated. I haven't done that since my bat mitzvah. Our professional partners, I'd love to recognize now, and I promise to thank them later in 18 months. Cameron Carey and Nate Evans of the Tynan Group. At Frank Skipper Construction, Paul Wykowski and Erwin Villegas. Our landscape architects from Arcadia Studio, Martha DeGasis and Kaylee Grubb. Blackbird Architects, led by Ken Radke, Elena Frazier, and Adam Sharkey. And I'd like to welcome Janet Garufis, Ben Scott, and Ambia Clark from Montecito Bank and Trust. And today, as we hang out and have some fun, please feel free to reach out to any of them or anyone else you saw in leadership to ask questions and find out more information. Thank you. You may be seated. I cannot say enough about our CBB staff, where most of the heavy lifting lies. As the ground literally shifts beneath our feet, they make sure nothing is lost. And I will not do their work justice. But thank you from the bottom of our hearts. To Elizabeth Gaines, who's standing already. When you agreed to run CBB, I bet you never imagined your current job description. Jen Lewis, she's probably not here because she's taking care of those kids, but she has managed our education programs with grace, transparency, and clarity. Julia George, who just joined last year and has an immediate impact on the capital campaign and with all things development at CBB. So when you see her, run the other way. No, I'm just kidding. I should never have said that. Phoebe Light, who shows up to every meeting. She chimes in always apologetically, but with the most thoughtful insights, and then serenades us with her incredible music. Ron Gleiberman. Where are you, Ron? There he is in the corner. He's had to manage, well, you haven't had to do it yet, but you're about to manage 3 times the facilities. And I can't imagine what that is like. And his incredible crew, including Audrey Okaneko and Abed Vallejo. And Paul Jakshevsky, who has the not-so-easy task of communicating all of this with you. Where's Paul? See in here? All right. And thank you to each and every staff member. We are asking so much of you, and you all are stepping up to the task. And then there's the clergy. And yeah, you can, are you all in here? Because you can rise when I say your names. Rabbi Brenner. There he is with his baby. You are always looking for ways to make this Herculean endeavor joyful and uplifting. Cantor Mark. You are so compassionate and patient, and you've been magnanimous in all of the changes thrust upon you, and you seem to always handle them with so much optimism and, not surprisingly, humor. And Rabbi Cohn. I think that says it all, but I'll say something else anyway. You have worn more hats than you own or even knew existed. We cannot thank you enough for caring so deeply about the future of our community that you helped create. So, those are all the thank yous for now. Today you're going to hear more about building dreams from 3 people that have been intimately involved, and then we will have some food and some fun. As honorary co-chair of the Building Dreams campaign and Shomri Habrit of CBB, and as a board past president as well, I'd like to ask Daniel Hockman to come up and share some remarks with us. Daniel. Daniel has had a long-standing, deep connection with and commitment to CBB. Thank you, Daniel, for all of your family's involvement since the beginning, and for your thoughtful service and consult for so many years.
I did. Good morning. I was asked to come here today to tell you all a story. It begins long before I or anyone else in this room was born. Probably. It starts in a time that was, in some ways, like today. It begins in the 1920s, when the world was recovering from a pandemic, the Spanish flu. And the seeds of authoritarian rule and anti-Semitism were growing strong. On the other hand, day-to-day life was much different. Traveling from downtown, State Street ended near what is now Constant Street, and beyond were orchards. The mightiest buildings constructed were brought down by the devastating quake of 1925. On the roads, you might find Stutzes, Rickenbackers, Model Ts. Phones were rotary. Calvin Coolidge was president. The average wage was about 55 cents per hour, and a loaf of bread cost about a dime. If you walked up State Street, on your left, you would find Shane's Cigar Shop, proprietors William and Sarah Shane, parents of Viola. Further up on the right, on the second floor overlooking what is now Paseo Nuevo, you would find the optometry practice of Dr. Lester Gersh. Lester moved from Stockton to Santa Barbara with his young bride, Viola, in 1924, reuniting her with her parents after she'd ventured north to teach school for a short time. Though as a teenager he had changed his name from Abraham to Lester, he was and remained Jewish. Not a ritual Jew, but a Jew by culture, by action, morals, identity. I invite you to think about this time nearly 100 years ago, when Lester and Viola, my grandparents, sought out others in Santa Barbara to carry out their faith. A small handful of families started meeting for Shabbat and other observances, going from living room to living room, moving through Santa Barbara without a shul. This minyan went house to house, Friday to Friday, giving credence to the term wandering Jews. For weddings, bar mitzvahs, and high holidays, they would bring a rabbi from Los Angeles to brave the 3-lane highway. Now that's 1 lane in each direction with a so-called suicide lane for passing in between. In 1927, they formalized their commitment by chartering Congregation B'nai B'rith. And their families grew. Lester and Viola begat Ruth Helene, who many of you knew as Rulene. The need for a more permanent Jewish home became clear. Bylaws were established in 1931, and the annual dues were $6. Dr. Gersh completed a land purchase and then swapped that property for CBB's first true home on the corner of Garden and Figueroa Streets, a former grocery store. The Jewish population of Santa Barbara continued to grow, and in 1950 they moved to the Sanders House on Santa Barbara Street. There, though a little awkward, were rooms for religious school, sanctuary, outdoor gathering spaces, just enough to sustain our growing congregation. I was part of that growth. Rulene had married Louis Hochman, and they begat, among others, me. I remember dancing Mayim Mayim on the driveway, singing Zum Gali Gali in the garage classroom. I remember hearing the choir at a packed service, the soaring soprano calling to me. Now, I say I heard the choir, but I couldn't see it. We were seated around the corner, out of view of the bema, as the congregation would no longer fit in the one room designated for services. Uh-oh. There we go. We kept growing and soon needed to go out wandering again. High holiday services were held at the Riviera Theater and Passover Seders at the Miramar Conference Room. Plans were already underway for another move. This time, they would plan big, a shul big enough for 400 families. And again, my grandfather was one of the many who played an instrumental role. This time he signed the note for the land purchase and construction costs, taking on the risk of the congregation. I, of course, didn't know that at the time. For me, the new building was just a joy. It was during that time that I learned what construction was, what it smelled like, what it looked like. I stood right there, picking up quarter-sized slugs from the metal studwork, smelling the sawdust on the concrete floor. I was 7 or 8 years old. There was space to run and play while the grown-ups did their serious business out of earshot. And this temple became my temple. Though never president, Lester was always a mover and a shaker here, Viola too, as she became a fixture in sisterhood and Hadassah. My dad became active in the lodge, which we now call the mob. We had services and seders, parties and festivals, all right here. We were home, and we kept growing. 200 families, 400 families, from 400 to 600, and I always had a place here. I doubt there was a member family that did not know me through my family. The Gershes and Hochmans were fixtures at every event, and integral to the social fabric of the congregation. Even so, I'll bet that very few people here remember my grandfather or my dad. Lester died in 1998 and Louis in 2000. And for the next 10 years, it was the women of my family representing. And for a while, instead of growing, our membership shrank as we struggled with our own identity and relationship with rabbis. During this time, I became active in leadership here at CBB and started to understand what it meant to carry the weight of the congregation. Budgets and bylaws were now a part of my world. Viola and Rulene were very proud during my years as president, and Mom served on the board as my sisterhood representative. Through the 10 years prior, we had grown back to 600 families or more, largely due to the restorative healing provided by interim Rabbi Alvin Sugarman and the subsequent hiring of our own Rabbi Cohen. But shortly after my presidency ended, Viola, then Rulene, passed. Their memory carried for some years, but it became clear that I would remain the lone Gersh and Hochman family member closely associated with CBB. Now, you may ask, why am I telling you all of this? Well, I'll tell you. As a congregation, we've grown and grown. Our facilities built for 400 families are busting at the seams, with over 800 member families. And I wanted to share with you my story so that you can understand how I feel about CBB. For over 50 years, I've been running around these very halls, praying from the seats in which you sit, singing from the bima. Memories of my parents and grandparents live in these rooms. Their names are on the wall just over there. The voices from shows that Cantor Mark and I produced and directed echo from the walls. I have history here, and I'll bet so do you. I've been telling you my story in hopes that now you will think about your story, your wedding, your family's B'nai Mitzvah, or JLP, or Beit HaYeladim, your participation at Mitzvah Day, your attendance at Melton classes, the sounds of the choir, that sermon that changed your life, the friendships that have grown, the memories of those who have left this mortal plane. Each of you has a connection as strong as mine to CBB. Now take a look now, if you will, at the seats here on the bima. Toby Parisi of blessed memory, wife to Rich, led a project to stitch these designs. Every temple member was asked to participate and put at least one stitch into these chairs. I'm proud to be able to say that my hands helped create this bima through that project. And once again, it's time for this community of friends to come together, for we're making another move. As before, we will become wanderers, but unlike before, we will return. This bima, these stitched seats, these memory-filled halls will be waiting for us, and we will all be welcomed back to continue making memories, to share laughter and sorrow, and to be part of the continuing story. Because of my connection to this place of worship, this place of gathering, this place of learning, I'm proud to continue my family's commitment to our ever-growing synagogue. And with Mandy, it was with joy that we were first to commit a leadership gift to this project. Thank you. And as we gather here today, I would like for all of us, let's take a moment to reflect. Please, if you will, take a breath in with me and let it out. And let your mind wander back to the first time you came to Congregation B'nai B'rith. Take a moment, feel yourself connecting. What is your CBB story? How would you describe what the clergy, the friends, the staff, the children have meant to you? And how will you be a part of the next phase of our story? Because my family have shown up for the last 94 years, and because of my own participation, because of my memories and my actions, I know that I am part of Congregation B'nai B'rith, and CBB is a part of me. I invite you now to find your place in CBB history. Live your story, join the dream.
We're waiting for some special guests to come in. We're good? Okay, guys? Oops. Thank you, Daniel, for your profound and moving remarks, and for your and Mandy's generosity. Thank you both for your steadfast commitment and dedication to CBB. Hi, everyone. I'm Diane Zipperstein, and I'm co-chair, along with the incomparable Steve Amerikaner, of the Building Dreams Capital Campaign. It is my delight and joy to be with you today. First, with heartfelt gratitude, I want to thank our amazing lead donors. These individuals, families, and foundations have given transformational gifts to our project. Without their extraordinary generosity, we would not be here today. Thank you to Mandy and Daniel Hockman, to Shirley and Seymour Lair, to the Lewis Tobes family, to Sarah Miller McCune, to Lundy and Frederick Reynolds, to Albert Yenny of blessed memory, to Etty Yenny, to the Zagar Family Foundation, and to one anonymous donor. Thank you for giving so generously to this project, which will transform our campus for all of us and for generations long into the future. Thank you as well to everyone who made stretch gifts, no matter how much, and dug deep to contribute to this project. And thank you to all of you who have participated in this campaign. Our campaign is a community-wide effort in making this dream a reality. As of last night, we had gifts from 385 families in our CBB community, representing 46% participation. That's pretty amazing. We will continue to accept gifts until the ribbon cutting of the new campus. We want 100% participation, and it's not too late to make your gift. If we have 30 people here today who make a new contribution, we will have hit 50%. So let's do it. This afternoon, I hope you'll watch a bit of the slideshow on the TV in the social hall. We've made an effort to list all of our donors who wanted to be recognized. If your name isn't shown, you have either preferred to remain anonymous, or because of the wonderful influx of contributions since Rabbi Cohen's message, we're still processing your gift. Your names will appear on the Building Dreams website in the coming days. Rest assured, we know who you are, and we deeply appreciate your generosity. This project, the result of 6 or 7 years of planning, 7, oh my gosh, is for all of us. Let's build it together. Now, Rabbi, oh, actually no. More kids coming, oh my goodness. Okay, thank you so much.
Kindergartners are going to join.
Okay, so the, all right, good. Hi, guys. Okay. Hi, all of you guys. I like your hats. They really look great. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. And thank you to everyone who has helped bring us to this moment. Many of whom you've already met this morning. And I'm not going to name anybody specifically because I honestly just feel so grateful to everyone who has worked for years to bring us to this point. Before we finish and go out to enjoy all of the activities that have been planned, I want to take a few minutes to remind ourselves what we are doing. Why are we undertaking this massive project and causing such a disruption in our communal life? Let me begin by saying many of us love this place. Yeah. Partly because of the magnificent setting up here next to the mountains, but mainly because of the memories that it holds for us. Memories of our kids when they were in preschool, or standing before the ark at their bat or bar mitzvah, or memories of being transported by the singing of the cantor and the choir on the high holy days, or sitting with friends and enjoying Sunday Morning Live and the awesome Kenny Gaines Memorial Breakfast. This morning, with these beautiful children with us here this morning, even new arrivals often remark to me what a wonderful community we have created here. And we missed it during COVID. And it has felt so good to be back. We have been reminded over and over again that this place has healing power. So it's not easy getting ready to leave now for a year and a half, or however long it's going to take. We had better have a good reason for all this hassle. I want to say as clearly as possible, we are not going through all of this trouble just to make this place more beautiful. It's already beautiful. We are disrupting our life so that this sacred place can undergo a metamorphosis. The most important transformation of this home of ours since it was first built, almost 60 years ago, we are changing what it means to be a synagogue. The vision for Building Dreams begins with recognizing how we have already changed since our building was built in the 1960s. Our physical home needs to change because we, as a community, have changed. First of all, and you've already heard a little bit about this, most obviously, our community has grown from 200 households to over 800. This campus can only accommodate this dramatic growth by coming fully to life, all day long, all week long. After this rebuild, our brick and mortar footprint on the ground will be about the same, not much more than we already have, but the lived reality of this place will be completely different. You will rarely see an empty parking lot. This place will be full of people, kids, parents, young adults, the elderly, full of life, all day long, all week long. And that is a different way of being a synagogue. Now here's another way we have changed, even more profound than the growth of our membership. The meaning of our Judaism has changed. For most of our community, religious services are no longer the primary expression of their Jewish identity. In the 1960s, Jews came to temple to pray, and Hebrew school was for learning the language of prayer. Nowadays, for most of us, being Jewish means being part of a vibrant, creative, loving community. caring for and supporting each other when we are sick or bereaved, celebrating together the profound moments of birth, coming of age, and marriage, working together to raise kind and generous children who know their heritage and are proud to be Jewish, and they're right here in front of us. Responding together to immense challenges like the coronavirus pandemic, the devastating Montecito debris flow, heartbreaking political polarization. Being Jewish means making music together, expressing our inner lives through art, food, and stories, learning about our past through literature and film. In other words, for most of us, being Jewish is not a religious identity. And for me as a rabbi, it's taken some time to get comfortable with that. Most members of CBB would say, I'm not religious, but I love this community, and I love this culture. Our new temple will reflect this profound change in what it means to be Jewish. We are transforming this campus into a center for Jewish community and culture. And one more thing about how we have changed. In the old days, in the old country and after first coming to America, Jews lived together in physical proximity to each other. When my parents grew up in Rochester, New York, everyone they knew was Jewish. And it was the same in Baltimore, in Boston, in New York, Chicago, Cleveland, Detroit. The Jews all lived together. And so they found community every time they stepped outside their front door. That is not true anymore. At least not here. At least not here. There is no Jewish neighborhood in Santa Barbara. So we are reimagining this place, this campus, as our shared Jewish neighborhood, a place to meet each other and not just on holidays and special occasions. It will be a house of prayer and a center to explore different forms of Jewish spirituality, but also for discussions and concerts, dance classes and yoga, films. All of our generations, children and adults, teenagers and senior citizens, will meet each other here all week long. Children side by side with elders, making music and art and cooking, not only on special occasions. It will be our community center. Let me finish and then you can ask a question, okay? Best of all, we will come here on Shabbat, and we might stay all day long. Perhaps to sing, or to pray, or to study, but often just to sit outside in the gardens on a warm Friday night, or to enjoy coffee and pastry with friends on a bright Saturday morning, or to share a Jerusalem-style picnic lunch, or to listen to live music with a glass of wine late in the afternoon. We might stay all day long. And when 3 stars appear in the sky, whoever happens to be here will gather together to light a braided candle and to smell the spices of Havdalah, to sing together under the night sky, and to wish each other a good week. That is the dream. That is why we're doing this. I cannot imagine a better reason. Now, before I sit down, let me say one more thing. We need to get busy. Over the next 18 months or so, our architects and our builders will be transforming this physical campus. But we also have work to do. Let's start now creating 7 days a week of Jewish life. Art workshops, musical gatherings, cooking classes, Shabbat services, book groups, social action projects, film societies. We are building a house to contain all of these activities, but we should begin now. In our homes, in borrowed spaces, in temporary improvised quarters. We should begin now so that as a community, we will be ready to bring this place, our new home, to life. Starting now, we have about 18 months. That time is going to fly by. And now there was a question here, but you can ask it later on. Yes, what was your question? The good news is that the kids are going to continue to come to school all during the construction. So you are going to see the trucks and the bulldozers and all of that. Yes. We're making a new playground for you guys on the other side. Wait, Bixby? And the Torahs are going to travel with us. Everywhere we go, we're going to take the Torahs with us. Okay, those are all excellent questions, and we can do more later on during lunch. Thanks, everybody.
I love how the kids knew exactly what questions, what were the important questions. Where are we going to play? Where are we going to play? The song that we're going to close our assembly with now, these are very poignant words built around the prophet Zechariah by Debbie Friedman. And there's words in the song that say, the children sing, the children dream. And this is one of the main reasons why we're going to move into this Building Dreams project. Each of these little, can I have the second graders? Just the second graders, come on up here. Second graders. Each of them and each of these kids who are sitting on the floor here, they're having such fun with these little helmets. They're making little static, like rubbing balloons on their head. It's like they're making their hair go up and down. And for them, if that's how they connect to building dreams, static electricity, then Dayenu, that's enough. Now, let's move that other microphone down so Mark can pick it up with their voices. This song, not by might, not by power, but by spirit alone. The children sing, the children dream. And our second graders, these are my little Daniel Hockmans right here. Each of these. Okay. This is our second grade of Nitty-Vote, my wonderful little second grade choir. All right, you guys can go back.
All right, thank
And
you.
you're gonna wrap
I got it. Yes, so thank you, first of all, second graders, all of our first and kindergartners as well, all of our musicians, Phoebe and Dan and Cantor. And a big thank you, by the way, to Bethy Feinberg. Where are you, Bethy? Bethy, who put this whole day together. So we heard all about the project, but today is just as big of a day, and thank you, Bethy, for putting this together. We're going to first dismiss all of our Nitty-Vote students. So kindergarten, first grade, second grade, come out to the back patio. We're going to let you go out first. Keep those hats on. Thank you so much for coming. And to everybody else, to the rest of you, in just a minute, we're going to invite you to join us in the social hall for some lunch. And there are going to be interactive stations all around CBB where you can do things like make an edible earth dessert, chalk graffiti one of the walls. That's going to be demolished. We can leave a little bit of an artistic mark. You can snap photos in the groundbreaking photo booth. You can tell your CBB story with our filmmaker in the small chapel. You can paint canvases that are going to be up during our campus to keep it beautiful. There are stations in the back patio, the small chapel, social hall. Feel free to wander around a little bit. And before you go, please take one of the plants on the front patio. Diane Zipperstein spent hours putting these plants together. If, however, you happen to find a gold bracelet in one of these plants, that is Diane's. And it was not a gift. It's not a prize. It's an anniversary gift that she's missing. So if you find the gold bracelet, please let us know. You win our love. Again, thank you everybody for being here today, and have a wonderful exploration. Please, again, go to the social hall. There's food, there's drinks, and explore. And thank you so much, everyone.